Wait, you're a little bit lagging.
I'm a little lagging. Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am with Orly Whaba here, who is the founder and president of LiveCast Inside, and probably the kindest, nicest person on the planet.
I don't know about that. We are all kind and awesome in our own way.
Well, Orly has a lot to do with that, and trying to spread kindness and unite people together in kindness around the globe. So thank you so much, Orly, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really super excited to be part of this fantastic day.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Before we get started, guys, I just wanted to remind everyone, if we have questions for Orly, please do go on Twitter or Facebook and use the hashtag Character Day 2016, and we'll be sure to answer any of the questions that you have at the end of our Q&A. So I am the Character Day producer, and I have been so lucky to be working with Orly for the last year with our initiative of Character Day 2016, as well as all the million projects that Orly has going on. That's super exciting. So I guess my first question, just so the audience gets to know your story, can you just tell us, how did this LiveCast Inside come to be, and what's your story? What's your inspiration?
So do we have a few hours? No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Exactly.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to give you the short of it.
Okay.
LiveCast Inside, well, again, there's many different parts to this, but the organization itself started about 5 years ago. I was a middle school teacher for 7 amazing years. I miss my students every single day. And the concepts of kindness, compassion, empathy, empowerment, these were things that were being implemented into my classroom on a regular basis. And 5 years ago, I took a leap of faith, left my job teaching, which was super hard. I loved it, to start this organization, which has really been part of a dream of mine ever since I was a little 4-year-old kid that wanted to change the whole entire world. That was me. I would be the one people make fun of and say, okay, you're crazy. Yeah, okay, go change the world. And it was always a part of, in a sense, of my life journey. And so I took that leap of faith to start it. A lot of the encouragement came from my students that said, Orly, you have to share this message with the world. And it's been an amazing journey over these 5 years. The organization itself, the mission is to inspire, empower, and educate people from all backgrounds to lead a life of kindness. But a lot of the passion behind this, like I said, didn't just start 5 years ago, really began back when I was a little kid. Some of them, a lot of the motivation also came from going through a bit of hardship myself in my adolescent years, my high school years. I went through a very deep, dark depression after having a fire in my house and going through various other episodes. And through that experience, I really found my voice and I found my strength, which is funny that finding your voice and finding your strength can come from something so difficult. But I was actually the shyest person you ever met. I would not be speaking like this when I was a kid. I
couldn't believe that, Orly.
I lie when I say that. They say you're lying, but it is the truth. I was super shy. It's like I had all of these thoughts and ideas in my head and in my mind and my heart, but I didn't have the ability to express it. And after going through that bit of hardship when I was 15 years old and not feeling like anyone was there in a sense to see me, I made a promise to myself to be there for people the way that I wish somebody would have been there for me. And more than that, to see people the way that I wish somebody would have seen me. And found my strength really through that. It's what led me into teaching, what led me into the work I'm doing with LiveCast Inside, and what pushes me and motivates me day in and day out to keep on giving, regardless of the hardships that come about, regardless of the negativity that may be surrounding us. It's always about continuously reminding myself and reminding others that there's so much goodness that exists in the world. And it all begins with helping a person see the amazing qualities within themselves and recognizing that they're significant and unique in their own way.
It's amazing. It brings me back to when you came to visit our office in San Francisco, and you gave us those kindness cards, which I still carry with me. They are so awesome. And I remember watching your TED Talk, and one of my favorite stories that you tell is about the construction worker. Can you tell everyone that story?
Oh my gosh, yes. So these acts of kindness cards actually started with my students on like little laminated, colorful papers, in school, that I started with a project with my students. Basically, each card has on it a different act of kindness, something simple, because kindness is not something new. It's not like, oh, I created kindness. No, we all know it. But when we see something specific, suddenly our awareness is increased and we're able to see it more readily. So the story that you're referring to here happened right when I started this project with my students back in, must have been right in 2007 with the kindness cards. And at the end of the school year, I would always cry before the students left because it was so sad for me. They were really like my best friends. And as
Orly, I love you.
It's the truth. I love these people. I don't even understand. So I would write each one of my students a letter and give them an act of kindness card. And I said, keep this with you as when you go into high school, because the way I've always explained it is, you know, elementary school is like training and high school is like the war. No matter how much you go through training, you get very lost in the war. People tell you that what you once knew was right is now wrong, and what you thought was wrong is now right. But to always remember the power you have and the significant things that you can do. So I made enough cards, or so I thought, for the kids in the grade. And I happened to have extra. I said, all right, whatever, I miscounted. So I take the extra cards and I put in my bag and I head back home. And I'm parking in my driveway, and it was a hot June day. And on the street were people that were basically, they were cleaning the streets. Mm-hmm. So they were doing, in a sense, community service hours. They were in a local prison and they're cleaning the streets. So I said, wow, awesome opportunity. So I run in my house. I get, cups, bottles of water, drinks with me. I'm holding all these items in my hands, and I come on out with my little school bag on my back, and I come out like, hey guys, are you thirsty? And they look at me like this. What do you want from us? I said, I'm like, nothing. I'm like, it's hot, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, are you guys thirsty? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, this is for you. They're like, come on, really, what do you want? I promise I really want anything. And so I gave them, we start talking and we start laughing, whatever. And I'm telling, giving them the drinks. And I start explaining to them about these acts of kindness cards. They're like, oh, is there anything that, I said, so now I give them the drinks. Sorry, I'm like messing up my story here. I give them the drinks. I head back in after 20 minutes. We're chatting, go into my room, going through my bag. And what do I spot? The extra kindness cards. So I'm like, wow, everything happens for a reason. So I start counting the cards, and there's 8 cards. I jetted to the window, literally, almost fell on myself. I start counting the people outside, and there's 8 people. I'm like, wow. So I come out, and I'm like, hey guys. Now they're like, hey, Orly, what's up? We're best friends already at this point. And they're like, I'm like, listen, there's something you could do for me. They're like, yeah, sure. I said, well, I'm teaching my students about kindness, and that it's not something that you just do. It's something that you live. And I have these kindness cards, and each one has a different act on it. Can I give each of you a card? I don't know if you can ever do it or not do it, but can I give them to you? So they're like, sure. So I start handing out the cards. And one of the biggest guys in the group, he grabs hold of his card and he starts crying. And then he starts screaming. He says, how did you know? How did you know? I said, how did I know what? Like what? He said, how did you know to give me this card? He said to me, over the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking about calling my parents. It's been 10 years since I've spoken to them. And on my card, it says, call your mother and father to tell them how much you love them.
It's unbelievable.
It was at that moment I understood and realized the power of the cards. It's not about, people know, oh, kind, obviously. It's very broad. But when you give somebody something specific to do, they start seeing those opportunities. And I've always found that when giving cards to people come up to me after, like, how did you know give me this card? It's like exactly what I needed, the exact moment I needed it. It's because it's inside of us. But sometimes we need those small reminders within the hustle and bustle of our day and running from one place to the next to realize that it's the simple things that we do that make the biggest difference. It's not, the titles we have in our job or how much money we make or how many followers we have. Those things give us a fake sense of validation. It's just the external sense of validation. But the only thing that could really, truly give you a sense of validation to feel good about you is you. Mm-hmm. And it's through the acts of giving and the acts of kindness. Because when you're engaged in an act of giving, what you're doing, the reason you feel so good is that you're catching a glimpse of your potential. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, you're being validated for the right reasons. And you see your true worth.
I love that, Orly. You're so inspirational. I love it. Where can people get the cards?
So you could get the cards on our website, lifevestinside.com/shop or /store. There's 2 types of cards. There's regular cards. Each deck comes with 26 cards. There's our Acts of Kindness cards for kids, which are kid-oriented. We also create customized decks, like teacher decks or workplace decks. And we have a new card that came out, which is very exciting, which I think I gave you, and they're called Catching Kindness cards.
Yes.
And these cards, you give them to someone when you see them doing an act of kindness for someone else. It's easy to see when someone's doing something good for you. But let's say you're on the street and you see someone pick something up for someone else that, you know, dropped. You could go over and give them a Catching Kindness card, and it says on it, tag, you've just been caught in the act, and now it's your turn to catch someone else in the act. So not only does this help increase your awareness to what kindness looks like, but the person that receives it is now so empowered to even do more, because they're like, wow, somebody was watching me. I inspired someone without even knowing it. And that's the power of those specific cards. And those also you could get on our website.
I actually have a beautiful story of when you came to our San Francisco office and you had given me those. I spotted an act of kindness, and I went outside, and there was this homeless lady on the corner, and this woman, you know, in a very classy, beautiful suit, and she was on her hands and knees next to this homeless person in a wheelchair, talking to her for about 30 minutes. And I was just watching the conversation, and I went over and gave the lady the card that you were spotted, you know, in an act of kindness.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, and she said to me, you know, all that lady wanted was just to be seen and heard. And so I went over, and then I started having a conversation.
Exactly it. And what you said is seen. People want to feel like they're seen. Yes. And that's such a you know, and that, again, it stems from so many of the issues of that social issues that go on in the world really stem from a lack of self-value and self-worth, people not recognizing that who they are matters. And I know that it's important, you know, especially in today's world of digital media, and it's like, oh, you know, how many followers you have, how many those things don't really matter. They don't. They're so external. It's just a facade. If people would only see that without them, the puzzle is just incomplete, that without them, something is missing, that there's something each and every person out there in this world can bring that no one else can except for them. That's why they're here. Otherwise, why would they be here?
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Bringing their own unique perspective to the world. Couldn't agree.
That's it. That's it. It's so much the truth.
Yep. All right. I need to learn all about more so the audience can learn more about the Dance for Kindness.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So Dance for Kindness is a worldwide event started by LiveCast Inside back in 2012. This is going to be our 5th annual event. It takes place to kick off World Kindness Week. And what's super special about this year is that the event is actually taking place on World Kindness Day, which is November 13th, Sunday, November 13th. Last year, we had over 100 cities, 50 countries worldwide participating in this event, led by group leaders that are people just like everyone out there listening. We've had group leaders from age 10 to age 76, people that know how to organize events and people that never organized an event in their life, people that are super shy and reserved, people that never use technology. So I get the opportunity to connect with each of these group leaders. I've been going through one Skype call after the next, after the next. We've had interest from over 500 group leaders this year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Organizing their event. And they receive a handbook with the details of how to organize their event. They watch like a tutorial behind the scenes video. And then I Skype with each and every one of them individually to get them set up and provide them with all of the necessary details to organize their event in their location. So what is the event? It's a combination freeze mob, flash mob. Groups get together, organized by the one group leader, which is basically a volunteer. They get together within a city center to perform a freeze mob, flash mob. What is a freeze mob? Well, basically, there's 2 parts to the event. The freeze mob is to a slow, reflective song that has to do with the themes of kindness and compassion and value. During the freeze mob, so imagine right now you're in the middle of Times Square, you got 300 people there, everyone going about their regular day. A song blasts, comes up, this slow, reflective song, and everybody freezes in different kindness poses. Maybe hugging someone, maybe showing someone directions, maybe giving someone a tissue, whatever it may be, for 3 minutes. Not an easy feat.
Yeah.
And the purpose of the freeze mob is to show people that if we open our eyes and stop within our day, we'd recognize the kindness opportunities that surround us. Right after the freeze mob, it goes into the flash mob. The flash mob song comes on, which is like a dance song. And every year we have an anthem contest where musicians can submit a song, a demo of a song to do with kindness. And submissions are actually open now for next year, for 2017.
Wow.
Closes in January. And then songs go through public voting. The song that has the most votes wins. And we produce the song professionally.
Cool.
And their song gets heard worldwide. We put them up on the billboards in Times Square. We create a music video. It's wild. More details you could find on the website at danceforkindness.com. But so now the flash mob song comes on and people now break from their freeze positions into dance. The same dance being danced to all over the world, all on the same day, all under the banner of kindness. People from every different religion and culture and ethnicity and race, showing that, yes, we may be different, but our differences are reason to celebrate, not to war, not to hate. That's what makes us so beautiful, is the picture that comes together. And kindness is something we all truly believe. It's just about getting away from those labels that we place on people, taking down our walls, letting people in, because the truth is education is the key to tolerance. And the more we can educate people about who we are and see, wow, you know, we're all the same. We're the same, even though we're different. We have our different beliefs and our different things, but we're at our essence. The core of a human person is goodness. And I know some people like, yeah, sure, look at all the bad going on. Look at the news. Have you seen the news lately? Yes, I'm not naive to say that there's not negativity, but goodness will always prevail and always trump evil. Always. It always will be the case. And it's just about tapping into that within each person. Helping a person, again, it starts with helping a person see their value. Because the minute you see it, now you can see it in others. So Dance for Kindness dance registration is opening up today, actually, in just a few hours, where people could go onto the site, choose from the locations that it's taking part in, and register to be a participant. Unfortunately, group leader registration, if your location is not listed, we don't have a location in that city, but you can pre-register to become a group leader for the following year, to be an organizer, to have it go on in your city. But we have a lot of locations being added over the next several weeks, probably over 150 cities this year. So you find your location, you register, you get a link to learn the dance in the privacy of your own home, a link to the freeze mob and the flash mob song, and then your group leader reaches out to you about organizing a rehearsal the day of the event a few hours prior, where everybody comes together, and then together they go out and they put this event together, you know, put this event on, and there are various kindness activities that take part throughout that day as well.
Awesome. And you said that it was November 13th, right, Orly?
Sunday, November 13th, and you can learn more about it at danceforkindness.com.
Awesome. And so I just have a couple more seconds with you, and I just wanted to let people know also to, again, go on LiveCast.com. And Orly was telling me about this awesome email that she sends out once a day called the Daily Kind. You want to talk about it for 1 second, Orly?
Sure, I'll give you 1 second. If you go to lifevestinside.com, you'll be able to sign up for it, or lifevestinside.com/dailykind. It's basically a daily email it's a 30-second read to kickstart your day with kindness. It has an act of the day, a positive affirmation, a quote, and a short kindness media, whether it be a video or an article. And we've been receiving such amazing positive response. We have several thousands of people that have joined it. So definitely check it out, sign up for it. It's a really amazing way to start your day.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Orly. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. And
Thank you.
I just want you to keep trucking on all the amazing things that you're doing, and so much luck to you for Dance for Kindness. It sounds so exciting.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I really applaud the amazing work that you're doing. It's really spectacular. Character is where it's all at. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, we're super, super jazzed over here.
Awesome. Keep it going.
All right. Thanks, guys. And please stay tuned for our next talk with Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs at 10 o'clock. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.